Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today's project, we're going to be taking out that GFCI outlet and we're going to be replacing it with a new one. Now that one, as you can see, is beige. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's beige. And we are going to put tiles on this backsplash over here, and we want to have a white outlet versus a beige one. So what we picked up in the big box stores, we picked up the cover, of course, to go over the top of the new outlet that we're going to put on. Again, it's white. This one is white. The other thing we needed to pick up is on the back of this here, you see the screw right here? This screw is going to be probably a little bit too short to go into through the tile and into the box itself. So we picked up longer screws just to make sure that we have a good connection on this one right here. Now this screw here, just so you know, it's called a 632. This is the one here, not that I'm endorsing this brand, this just happens to be the one that I picked up. 632, and it's a little bit longer than we need to. If it's a little longer, it doesn't matter. We can always cut it down by just screwing it in through one of these here, and then just taking it and snipping it, and we can shorten it down to the size that we need. But we'll see how that goes when we're ready to get to that point. Right now we're going to take the outlet out, but before we do anything, we're going to go into the circuit breaker box, turn the circuit breaker off so we can work safely in here without getting a shock. Now, as you can see, we have our connector into it, the voltage tester. We can see that there's voltage in this outlet itself. Even though you come in here and you pop the GFCI circuit breaker, this still will be live, so make sure you turn it off in the electrical box away from the point you're working. All right, we also have a non-contact tester. If you don't have that kind, you can use a non-contact tester as well to make sure if there's voltage in the switch. All right, so enough talking, let's get in there, let's turn this outlet off. Let's take this out and we'll do our tile work back here and then we'll put it back together. All right, so let's continue. Okay, once we have the outlet off, we're just going to actually pull it out just a little bit, leave it tilted like this. We'll put our tiles onto the wall, and once the tiles are on the wall, we'll come back and we'll change this outlet. Okay, so now that we know that our power is off, we have our tester in here, and we know for sure that there's no power in this outlet whatsoever. We can remove the tester. We can then come up underneath here and you can see how it has the electrical tape on there. We can remove the electrical tape, just like that. And now we can go ahead and take our replacement. Make sure you hold it in the same direction that it came off. All right, just like that. Now sometimes these outlets will actually be feeding another outlet or a GFCI protecting another outlet. In this case, it does not. There's nothing connected to it except the power leads that are from the original outlet. So that's how we're going to reconnect it the exact same way. This screw just comes off. We turn this counterclockwise, just like that. And you can see this pulls right out. We'll turn this sideways like this. Do the exact same thing on this one, just like that. That wire will pull out. And now our ground wire is right underneath here. We're going to disconnect that ground wire. We'll take the ground wire off, just like this. We're going to use our pliers to hold it, and then we'll pull it off, just like that. And now this is going to be trash, just because the color, there's nothing wrong with the outlet, the color is wrong. All right, let's take our replacement. Now remember, with these screws, we're going to have to change these screws because these screws are too short because we now have tiles on here, and the tiles actually take about a ½ inch away. So we're going to take these screws out and we're going to put in longer screws right here. and you can see the difference. Okay, take this, put it through here. These are 632, just so you know. Okay, just like that. And now this one, we're just going to loosen this a little bit, just like that. And this one, loosen it just like that. And now we're going to hold this up the way it came off. Remember, the ground was on the bottom, and over here is where our black wire was, and over here a white wire. But first we're going to connect this ground wire right up underneath here first. Pushed it all the way in, and now we're going to snug this down. This is our ground wire, so we're going to tighten it down till it's fairly tight. Okay, we're going to turn it, because remember, this was on the bottom. We're going to take this wire here, which is a white wire, and we're going to slide it in. I'll show you real quick on this one here. Get it in here and then I'll show you. Just like that. You want that, the wire behind this copper colored piece right there, okay? And now we'll tighten this down. Now we're going to turn it like this. We're going to take our black wire and we're going to put it right behind this right here. And that goes in there just like that, and push it all the way down as far as you can. Okay, nice and tight. Now we take our wires, we just make sure we have that loop in the top of it, and we'll push it back in, and we'll catch the wires, the screws I should say, into these screws in the box itself. Now I'm going to put some tape around this, as this is an old style metal box in here. The newer style boxes are made of plastic. We'll just take it, we'll push the wires back inside, and now we're going to catch those screws one at a time. And before we tighten them down, we're going to make sure they're both caught equally. Okay, one is caught. Let's catch our second one. Okay. Next we'll take our cover and we'll put our cover on there and screw the screws down nice and tight, and we'll be all set. Okay, that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, I will tell you this. If these screws are a little bit too long and touching into the tile, you can take them and screw them into your 632 right here. And when you screw them into the 632, let me show you real quick how it works. You screw it down just like this, and you can cut the screw shorter if needed. And you can cut it down to whatever length you actually need. So it does come in handy having a pair of pliers with the cutters built into them, and it does not damage the threads. But that's it. This is done. We're going to plug this back in here. Let's go and turn our outlet back on and make sure it works. Okay, we're going to turn it back on. Plug this in, and we'll see that it works perfectly. This meter tells you if the two lights on the left side are red and the one side on the right is not lit, then it's the correct. It is correct. Okay, so let's test it and make sure it works. Perfect. And of course you can see it have the indicator light right on the bottom right here. Alright, so that's it. Our job is all done. That's all there is to it to change a GFCI outlet. It's fairly easy. As I said, here you have your primary wires coming into it, and these are the ones that actually come from the house wiring itself. These are to be fed over to another outlet that would be on the other side of the room or real close to where you're working, and then that outlet in turn would be GFCI protected as well. But that's it. This job is done, and we're on to the next one. All right, as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.